Hello everyone, my name is Lumi, and this is my first full year in Stardew Valley 1.6. This video is very long overdue, but I promise it'll be worth your while. With the 1.6 update coming to console hopefully soon, and us PC gamers still raving about the update, I thought it would be fun to dive into a new farm. There are so many exciting new features in this update, and I tried my very best to fit a ton of new content into this first year. I also need redemption for my first 100 days. That video haunts me in my sleep. So without further ado, I will now list my goals for this farm, and you will have to stay tuned to see if I can make it happen. Firstly, we'll get the normal boring ones out of the way. I want to finish the community center, repair the Ginger Island boat, and get married to my baby girl Haley. Then, for the 1.6 focus goals, I'd really like to unlock the new mastery cave, and if possible, maybe even finish at least one of the masteries. I also want to become a cat lady. No children, just cats. That means I'll have to reach full friendship with my starting animal, and then further dump a bunch of gold on some cats to fill the empty void in my heart. And lastly, I want a creepy mannequin. Don't ask questions, I just want one. I won't waste your time anymore, so let's just hop right into it. There is nothing like your first spring in Stardew Valley. You start with nothing but a crushed spirit, a trashed farm, and 500 gold. I chose the new Meadowlands farm that came with the 1.6 update. This is an animal-focused farm, with the new bluegrass that helps your animals gain friendship twice as fast. So I'll have to rely on animals for the bulk of my gold. Speaking of animals, of course I chose the new black cat. I mean, come on, it's a black cat. What else do you expect me to choose? My first day on the farm went as it normally does. I woke up in the morning and opened Mayor Lewis's gift, which instead of parsnips, you get hay to feed your damn chickens on the Meadowlands farm. The one thing that I hate about this farm is that you get hay instead of crops. I guess it makes sense because you do have animals to feed. Mayor Lewis cozied up with Marty to get that hay for us. It just gives me bad juju. During my rant, I cleared out the little farming space I had, then said hello to my new babies. My first two chickens. We got Beluga and Missy. And headed to Pierre's to get me some crops. Normally I'd get one of each community center crop and then dump the rest of my gold on potatoes. But because I didn't already start with parsnips, I opted for the parsnips instead of potatoes, just to have a bigger chance of getting the gold star crops for the community center. But this was stupid because I probably wouldn't get gold star crops that early on. After the realization of my flawed logic and quite frankly stupid financial decisions, I planted my crops anyway and spent the day foraging. I gave baby girl my first daffodil, which made her insult my clothing. I love that she hates me. You will fall in love with me. It's our destiny. Oh, fun. Singular spring onion. We are just not having a good day today. Normally your first day in the valley is joyous. You are finally free from corporate struggles. But me, I'm angry. After an unsuccessful foraging run, I literally only got horseradishes. Oh my god! I cleared out more debris in my farm until I ran out of energy and headed off to bed to start the next day of my new life. Ooh, day 2 owl statue? Good morning on day 2. The spirits are somewhat mildly perturbed today. Luck will not be on your side. Will it ever be on my side? Spoiler warning, no Lumi, it will never be on your side. But day 2 is always a fishing day, so I checked the Willy mail and made my way down to the beach so he could give me his rod. The fishing rod, I mean, I promise. I managed to immediately get a fishing spot. Oh my god, what a treat. Watch, it's gonna go away as soon as I cast into it. I lied, it's not gonna go away. Even though the spirits are displeased, they still like me. And fishing is what I did all day. Also on day 2, I got my very first sea jelly, a new item in 1.6. You can chomp on them for +1 fishing or energy, but they're used to craft the new fish smoker, so that was exciting. Eventually, I ran out of energy, so before heading back home, I made a pit stop to baby girl Haley. Of course I'm wearing makeup. I smeared mud on my face. I also actually got more than one spring onion. Then once again, I cleared out some more space on my farm and then headed off to bed. Day 3 was rain day, and you know what that means. The immediate charge down into the forest to hunt for a catfish. And when I tell you, this took me the entire day. I'm actually washed. I spent all of my energy and I got it on my 6th try. I'll let you watch some of my struggles. Oh my god! I was so close, I ruined it! Soiled it. Okay, let me, okay. All right. I was so close. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind. But alas, at 5:50 p.m., I finally caught a damn catfish. But since I had 0 energy left, I decided to just forage some more and go to sleep. In the night, I did hit level 3 fishing, so all that work wasn't for nothing. Day 4 sucked, so we're gonna move on to my favorite day in Stardew Valley, Spring 5. The mines open on day 5, and I love mining in Stardew. But first, Marnie came to deliver my black cat. I named him Juice as an homage to my horse on my original 100 Days farm. He's so damn cute. After meeting my new child, Marlon gave me this janky ass sword and I descended into the mines. It was a really successful day. I managed to get down to level 20. And I also got some new drip to stomp around the valley with. A shirt? Officer Lumi at your duty. At your duty? Reporting for duty. I'm so stupid. I've got a whole new outfit from this. 3 letters and an ancient seed? Let's go. After that mythical find and making it down to level 20, I sprinted home, said goodnight to Juice, and headed off to bed, where I reached level 1 mining, farming, and combat. Day 6 was spent similarly. We mined. Oh, and I streamed some of this, so my face will randomly appear sometimes. Sorry. I made it down to level 35 while smelting copper in between the floors. I also might have lost track of time and ended up passing out in the mines. You will notice a trend of cluelessness and stupidity on the days that I streamed, because I cannot multitask. So that means on day 7 and 8, I didn't really do much aside from fish to get my money up. I did, however, buy a new fishing rod on day 7, and even hit level 5 fishing after going to bed on day 8. Naturally, I chose the fisher profession, because crab pots suck. Then, since the egg festival was slowly approaching, I wanted to grind ores so I could make sprinklers for the eventual strawberry empire I'd come to grow. So days 9 and 10 were spent as cave dweller Lumi, where all I really did was reset floors 20 and 40, making sure to smelt bars in between resets. And finally, on day 11, the bookseller decided to show face. He's a new addition from 1.6, and I hate this little man. All of these are ridiculously expensive. It's not worth it. And you can find them, like, out in the wild, you know what I mean? Like, you can find this while you're fishing. You can find this by cutting down a tree. I think it's just a little silly to have it, like, have you be able to access it super, super early. Nobody has the fucking money for that in the first year. Like, it would be cool if maybe the bookseller came in the second year. Rusty Spoon! Sorry, got excited. When, like, you're more likely to have that kind of cash. So obviously, I did not buy a single thing. And on day 12, all I really did was set up my minuscule crop field for all the strawberries I'd get tomorrow. Then that brings us to the 13th, where I headed over to the egg festival first thing in the morning. Obviously, I spent the entirety of my gold on strawberries, because what else would I do with it? All I want in this world is to make money. Oh, and also beat Abigail at the egg hunt. We're gonna win, and we're gonna beat Abigail, and we're gonna, yeah. After returning home victorious, I planted my strawberries to ensure the extra harvest, and off to bed I went, because the next day, day 14, is one of the most important days in Stardew Valley, baby girl's birthday. So I rushed over to give her a present. Aw, you got me a birthday gift? Well, I really like it. That's a new dialogue, I believe. And spent the day doing basically nothing. I think I just donated some stuff to the community center and obliterated trees on my farm until I lost the will to do so. Salmonberry season started on day 15, so I put on my gathering gloves and went to hunting all day. And with the wood I gathered the previous day, I also unlocked the beach bridge. Oh, and when I returned home for the night, a ton of my crops were randomly ready for harvest, which made me question my sanity. Hello? Why are my strawberries done? Did the fairy come? No, I don't think so. Did it come? Did anyone see the fairy? Do I have mods on? I do not have mods on. And no, the fairy did not come. So I genuinely have no idea what happened, but I will take it. The next few days were also spent salmonberry hunting, but there were a few highlights. Like on day 17 when I found a literal pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. I also bought a silo from Robin that same day. And again on that same day, this slime that I killed gave me gold. What in the world? Have you guys ever seen that? Ooh, that must be new. On day 18, I purchased the backpack upgrade because I was sick of having no space. I also hit level 4 farming, which meant I could finally make preserve jars. And day 19, I upgraded my pickaxe and fished for the rest of the day. Treasure chest! That brings us to the eventful day 20. Shocker, I actually did something in a day while I was streaming. I found my very first book out in the wild. At least I think it's my first. It was the Woodcutter's Weekly book that I got from chopping down a tree, which gives you some foraging experience. Like I said, I genuinely don't think there's a need, at least early on, to rely on the bookseller for these books. I assure you this was just the first of many book finds. So do not waste your early game money on the bookseller, no matter how tempting it is. Hate him just like me. Also on day 20, I ran some errands around town, like giving Robin her axe back, even though she so obviously could have found it herself. And also dropping by Mama Jody's to give her a cauliflower. I even bought chickens. I'm pretty sure this was the first time I bought chickens on the Meadowlands farm. Better late than never, I guess. Then day 21 was my first full strawberry harvest, which meant shmoney was coming in. To maximize said shmoney, I decided to make a couple of preserve jars for strawberry jelly. Then headed to Clint's to get my upgraded pickaxe for my daily dose of mining. And ooh, let me tell you, it was a horrible mining day. I literally was stuck on floor 55 from 12 p.m. to almost 3 p.m. I love this game. Why is it it's literally a neutral day today. Why is it so bad? Can the ghost die, bro?
Oh my god, I hate this game.
I ended off the night only managing to make it down 5 floors, which is unfortunate, but at least I got to level 60. I hoped day 22 would be better, and it was. It started with Demetrius coming to my farm for his research. I obviously am a fruit cave girly, so I chose the bats. It's the only valid option, especially with the new mushroom log machine that came with 1.6. After, I went mining once again, determined to have a better time. Anything would be better than yesterday. This dust sprite dropped me the monster compendium book? I don't know how to say that word. It gives a chance for monsters to drop double the loot.
Let me back up. This is why we don't buy from the bookseller.
And I managed to make it down 10 floors instead of 5 floors. So I'd say I had a better time. Day 23 was pretty uneventful. I just chopped some trees for most of the day. But I did have an interesting thing happen.
A bullhead frenzy has begun in the mountains? What is that? I don't know the frenzies. I've never experienced the frenzies. What are the frenzies? Is that it right there? That's crazy. Ah, look at them jumping. What the? He just soared.
After the frenzy fiasco, I just headed straight home to go to sleep and also to prepare for the flower dance tomorrow. I had been buttering up my baby girl Haley for this very moment. So on day 24, I woke up and headed straight to the flower dance.
Who are you dancing with? Who do you think I'm dancing with, Brick? Is that a real question? Are you calling me a simp? I am a simp. I am a simp. You know what? I'll admit it. Is it real? Listen to me. Listen to me. Look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. Is it really bad to like people? I am a simp and I'm proud of it. Moving on. Ew, no, I don't simp for real people, not at all. Neither do I.
Look at me dead in the eyes. I never have. Anyways, I made my rounds saying hello to everyone so I could work up the courage to ask Haley to dance with me. And when I finally asked, I thought I had 4 hearts with her. My oversight got me rejected, but at least I didn't have to stand in the corner with Clint for the entire flower dance. That's another new 1.6 change.
Instead, I stand in the middle and I watch it, and I get a laser view on Haley.
I went home depressed and spent the next 2 days sulking and going through the motions. I made it to level 80 in the mines on day 25 and chose the geologist profession in the night, and got this Jewels of the Sea book from fishing on day 26. Then on day 27, I decided it was time to stop slacking in the animal department, which meant I needed some cows. I grinded some materials I needed in the morning and headed over to Robin's to finally buy a much needed barn. And finally, since the next day, day 28, was the last day of spring, I wanted to prepare a little bit for the extremely profitable summer. I firstly decided to upgrade my pickaxe again. I hate seeing but what else can I do? I also purchased the iridium rod, since I will be catching the crimson fish on the first day of summer. And finally, with the ore I'd been collecting, I made some better sprinklers so I could fit more crops for the upcoming season.
1 sprinkler.
I then headed off to bed, excited for what summer had to offer. Day 29 was summer. I woke up and immediately readied my tiny crop field, then straight to Pierre's to buy the bloobs. I also bought crops I needed for the community center, but the most important are the bloobs. After heading back to plant them, the plan was simple. Go to beach, catch crimson fish. For some reason, it took me way too long to plant those crops. So by the time I got to the beach, it was already pretty late. And remember not even a minute ago when I said I will be catching the crimson fish on the first day of summer? Yeah, that didn't happen. Instead, I got a very surprising text.
Whoa.
Chipped my tooth on my Stanley.
Yeah. Oh.
And literally only tried to catch it once. So I just went home and straight to sleep. But on day 30, I was determined. I wouldn't let this thing best me 2 days in a row. So I took a pit stop at Willie's to pick up some goodies and headed back to the pier for some crimson fish hunting. With better circumstances, I managed to catch it first try that day. And directly after, this fishing spot appeared. But eventually, I got sick of looking at that damn seagull, so I switched over to the Lonely Rock. And I made some mayo machines before going back to sleep. The next 3 days were so damn boring, especially since they were 3 displeased days in a row. I told you I would never be lucky. I grinded ores on day 31, bought cows from Marnie on day 32, and mined again on day 33. This did, however, allow me to finish my first room in the community center, the boiler room. It unlocks the mine carts, which I always forget about, but they are really useful. Oh, and I also brought my axe in for an upgrade, which was a mistake that I didn't even realize I was making, because on day 34, it was 1.6's new weather event, the Green Rain. And when Green Rain descends upon the valley, all the villagers gather in the saloon, which means I literally couldn't pick up my axe from Clint. I couldn't cut down any of the little green rain trees, which was so depressing. Regardless, I didn't want to miss out on any of the moss this event produces, so I spent the entire day cutting weeds. And even though I couldn't cut down the trees, I did get a mossy tree seed. I honestly think this event is super cool and really fitting for Stardew Valley. Concerned Ape would make it randomly rain green. I don't even know what that means, but it is something that spruces up summer a little more, so I like that. For the next few days, I embarked on the mission I always seem to find myself tangled up in. Mission to the bottom. This actually actually happens to me nearly every single Stardew playthrough. I randomly get the uncontrollable urge to dedicate days in a row to making it to the bottom of the mines. It's like an itch that needs to be scratched. I can't stop it. And it all started on day 35, when I made it down to level 100, getting the star drop on that floor. Of course, I took a couple of pit stops to do some other things in the next 4 days, but my main objective was getting down those floors. Like on day 37, I got my first milk from my cows, so I wanted to make cheese presses, but I didn't have enough hardwood. I also couldn't break the log in front of the secret woods yet, so I literally had to go buy a chair from Robin's, since all I had in my farmhouse was a bench. I have never in my life bought a damn chair from the Home Depot lady. I felt so silly, but ooh, the next day was a good one. Day 38 was the first good luck day we've had in such a long time, which meant my mining adventures might just pay off today. I made my way to the mines first thing in the morning, and when I tell you I was shredding down those floors, it was like ladder after ladder after ladder. The universe didn't want me to stop. And at 1:10 a.m., I got my final ladder, taking me down to the bottom of the mines. Since it was late, I didn't have any time to make it home, but it didn't matter because I had reached level 7 mining in the night. Mission to the bottom, a success. But because I was so preoccupied with making it to the bottom, I'd forgotten about something slightly important. Day 39, aka Summer 11, the luau. I genuinely had no clue what to put in the soup. I didn't even have Mayor Lewis's underwear yet, so I just grabbed this random orange that I found in my chest and made my way over. I plopped that bad boy into the soup, spoke only to Haley, and watched the governor slurp it up. He liked it, I guess. I actually kinda hate the luau. This guy shows up once a year and thinks he deserves something good. Obviously, straight after, I just went home and straight to sleep. Day 40 was another bookseller day. I stopped by his cart to humor him, get his hopes up a little, but there was nothing worth dropping a bag on. You know I don't support this man. Instead of wasting my hard-earned money on books, I spent it on the final backpack upgrade so I wouldn't have to trash anything anymore. And it was alright that I spent a lot of shmoney, because day 42 was my first bloob harvest. I knew I'd be making a lot of money the next day, so in preparation for my newfound wealth, I just spent the day grinding wood. Look at all that shmoney I made overnight. So since I had made bank, I needed to find something to spend it on. I opted for a barn upgrade on day 43, because, you know, animal farm and all. And also because I had just reached the bottom of the mines, I decided to spend some money on the vault bundle. I wanted to get to the desert as soon as possible, and I was like halfway there. Kind of. I also don't know if I was like extremely bored this day because I was all over the place. I started fishing in the mountains, but then I went into the mines to fish for the lava eel, which I did end up getting first try, but after that, all I was getting was trash. So I left and went by the bookseller's hut to get this prize ticket that was hidden behind there. The prize machine in Mayor Lewis's house is another new 1.6 edition. God knows where the hell he's getting all this stuff, but it's kind of nice. The next day, I was broke again. So after donating a bunch of stuff to the community center, I went down to the beach to do some fishing. I wanted to either buy the fish smoker recipe or the dehydrator recipe, because me want new machine. Oh, I also got this bait and bobber book when I was fishing, which also pushed me to level 9 fishing in the night. On day 45, I got the fish smoker recipe because that was probably my best option at that point. I already had preserve jars, so I didn't really need the dehydrator recipe yet. It also had nothing to do with the fact that it was Wednesday and Pierre's was closed. Not at all. I had everything I needed to make a fish smoker except cave jelly. And oh my god, this thing is so rare. All I caught for hours was trash, not even fish, until 11 p.m., where I actually got one. I had to use a damn spicy eel for that shit. After I went home, I was not going to sleep without smoking a damn fish. So I popped a ghost fish in the smoker and waited until it was done. Only after it was done was I satisfied and went to sleep. Day 46 was the second bloob harvest of the season. Money, 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 money. After doing the dirty work, I firstly stopped by Marnie's to get some cows and my first goat, then over to the caves for some mining. It wasn't a very eventful day, except for the fact that I got a prismatic from a dust sprite. Oh my god! I swear to god, every single Stardew save I have ever had, this is the only way I get the first prismatic shard. The dust sprites be blessing me. And in the night, I reached level 6 combat and level 8 farming, which meant Keg Empire. I was also making pretty great progress on my skills. That mastery cave had nothing on me. It was storming on day 47, so I made some lightning rods in hopes of getting battery packs. But that was literally the only notable thing because I forgot it was a good luck day and ended up spending it cutting wood. I got a bone hat though. The next 2 days were spent on the one and only Trout Derby, another new 1.6 event. Basically, you gotta fish up rainbow trout, and when you fish up rainbow trout, there's a chance you'll get this little red tag, which you can exchange for some pretty cool rewards. I really love this edition, especially because it seems so lively with all of the strange characters scattered about. We got the Trout Man, and the Fisher Sisters, and Papa Willie. Can't forget about him. On the second day of the Trout Derby, I actually remembered to bring my smoker with me so I could smoke while I fish. I also got my very first mystery box as a reward, which made me both excited for more and to crack that thing open. So, on day 50, the first thing I did was open it up. It was eggplant parm, which angered me. I was, however, very close to finishing the vault bundle, so that at least brightened my spirits. Oh, and I forgot mushroom logs were a thing now. These are the mushroom cave be gone machines that I have always dreamed of. So naturally, I had to make some. I planted and fertilized some pine trees in a curious fashion. I'm not sure if it was an optimal layout, but it's fine. And since I opened my first mystery box, Mr. Chi came like Santa in the night to spread some mystery box propaganda, which meant I could find more mystery boxes to be disappointed by out in the wild. How fun. The next day, I made my final payment towards the vault bundle, and you know what that means for day 52. But I guess day 51 was kind of important, so hold that thought. After depleting my bank account, I went over to the mountains to do some fishing, because I felt like I didn't really fish over there too much this summer. I also needed a sturgeon for the community center, and I wanted to make more fish smokers, so I fished for some cave jelly as well. My angler-filled day pushed me over to level 10 fishing, my first level 10 skill. Oh, and I chose the angler profession, if that wasn't already obvious. Remember when I told you to hold that thought? Well, think it again, because day 52 was Skull Caverns, baby! It was a bad luck day, and I was terribly unprepared, but it didn't matter because Skull Caverns, baby! I traded for some stuff at the desert trader and obviously scooped up my galaxy sword, then descended into the caverns. I was actually kind of surprised at how well this went. Normally I dive headfirst the minute I unlock the bus, die accidentally, then drink to forget. But I didn't have too bad of an experience, especially because it was a bad luck day. I made it down to level 60 with 0 staircases. The only thing noteworthy was this level 16 treasure floor, which was pretty cool. On day 53, I upgraded my coop so I could finally get some ducks. I was getting sick of caring for these damn animals, but my fate was sealed the minute I chose the Meadowlands farm. I then decided to give some gifts to the villagers. Since I'd been a creepy little hermit for 50 days straight, my gift adventure brought me into Haley's 4 heart event, where I opened a jar for her because I am so big and large and strong. And because I was so large, I literally dissociated cutting down trees and lost track of time, passing out on the damn ground. Day 54 sucked. Moving on, day 55 was an Iridium luck day, my first one in what felt like ages. So, of course, I needed to do another Skull Caverns run, which was incredible. I got so many cool and useful items this day. Firstly, an Iridium sprinkler on a treasure floor, a cowboy hat on a treasure floor, yeehaw, and a damn lucky ring. I wouldn't have to incessantly pan in the Ginger Island dig site to get one now, so I was very happy about that. I also was happy because great luck meant great floor progress. I was flying down those floors, to the point where I made it to level 100. The famed Skull Caverns level 100. I wonder what kind of cool and exciting and fun prize I might get for all of the hard work I did to get here. A white turban. A white turban. I was so pissed that after opening the chest, I used a farm totem to TP home. But of course, I can never have a perfect day because I was blocked in by a stump and my axe was sitting pretty in a chest just over yonder. So I sat there, wallowing in self-pity until I passed out. Even though the previous day ended horribly, day 56 was the final day of summer, which meant it would be quite eventful. I started the day by upgrading my house for the first time. I was one step closer to marrying baby girl. I also bought a few more animals at Marnie's, since I was feeling like a high roller today. Now, I'd been visiting the traveling cart every Friday and Sunday, but I haven't even bothered to mention it since it was the final day of summer and I had yet to buy a single thing from this lady. She hates my guts, I swear to God. But today was different. I hiked my ass over to the cart and bam, red cabbage. This guaranteed year 1 community center completion. This stupid, ugly crop was the only thing standing in the way of my goal, but not anymore. I also grabbed a rare seed for tomorrow, since they only grow in fall and I needed to cop the secret wood star drop. To end my money spending rampage, I made Alex give me some ice cream, since I felt kinda bad. Bro hasn't had a single customer the entire summer. At the end of the day, I made my way down to the Moonlight Jellies Festival, watching the jellies do their little dance, excited for the upcoming season. Finally, I headed off to bed, ready for what fall had to offer. Day 57 began fall. Fall in Stardew Valley is my absolute favorite season. It has the best festivals, it has the best atmosphere. Overall, it's just really fun and relaxing. And I feel like fall is when you start to make the most progress. So there's never any boredom. There's always at least something to do. I started off the day by replacing my regular bad sprinklers with quality sprinklers, and somehow bought the exact amount of crops to fit the area in front of my house. I didn't even count. Then, because I am terribly slow, I spent the entire day planting them. I also placed these torches on top of my sprinklers because it looked pretty. The next day, the special board became available. I picked up Demetrius's Lakefish quest because it seemed fitting for what I intended on doing today. The plan was simple. Head to the river, fish anglerfish. And this time, there were no accidental acts of violence against myself or distractions. So I caught that bad boy my first try. I'm just like that. That got me in the fishing mood, so for the rest of the day, that's all I did. I vividly remember this day because there was a fishing spot just out of reach. So what I did was I walked all the way around the other side so I could fish into it. And when I got there, guess what happened? it disappeared. I don't even know what I expect at this point. I should have known that was gonna happen. For the next few days, I had a strong urge to get started on my keg empire. So it was grind time. I needed a bunch of ore for the iron and copper bars, as well as a ton of wood. So from day 59 to day 62, I magical girl transformed into Cave Dweller Lumi, where I grinded all the materials I needed. I ventured both the skull caverns, in failed attempts to get auto petters, and the regular mines, filling up the reserves with materials. On day 63, I decided to upgrade my pickaxe again, since the mat gathering was sort of insufferably slow. Then, after collecting the secret woods hardwood, I fished up a wood skip. I was super close to completing the fish tank bundle, so I fished around for the day to get a few of the remaining pieces. I sat at the pond for so long trying to get a walleye, until I remembered they only spawn in the rain. I am stupid and I was tired. Forgive me, children. Then, day 64 began blackberry season. Unfortunately, blackberry season doesn't excite me nearly as much as salmonberry season does. Even so, I still partook. But first, I harvested my first round of cranberries, then scooped up Linus's berry basket. I got you, my boy. My oak resin was ready on the perfect day, since, like I said, my cranberries were also ready. I was able to make 12 kegs. Quite the great start to the empire, if I do say so myself. My pickaxe was ready the following day. I had missed my baby very dearly. I also started Robin's hardwood special order that I will most definitely forget about. Since I got my pickaxe back, Skull Caverns, baby! Nothing crazy happened. I just got another prismatic and hit level 10 mining in the night, choosing the gemologist profession. I bought a deluxe barn on day 66. Look at me remembering I'm supposed to be a rancher. I also felt like having a relaxing fishing day. I set up my smokers at the beach and peacefully fished for a few hours. Until Willie's bitch ass broke one of my smokers. Are you kidding me? I hate you. I actually hate you. I probably should have been mindful of the fact that I am not the only angler in the valley, but he didn't have to do me like that. Literally nothing happened the next day, but I need to share this line of dialogue that I've never seen before from Haley. Did you see last night's episode of Tears? Sob. I can't believe Kyle and Amy broke up. What the hell? I don't think I've ever seen that. That's actually so funny. Of course Haley would be a little reality TV girl. Sadly, the next 2 days were also not very action-packed, but there were a few highlights. It was finally raining on day 68, so naturally I went fishing for the 2 fish I needed for the fish tank bundle. I said fish so many times in that sentence. First, I got a red snapper from the beach, and then straight to the pond for the walleye. On day 69, teehee, I had my second cranberry harvest, bought 2 pigs, and got these mossy seeds by the Adventurers Guild, which I planted next to my kegs. Even if the last 2 days weren't that great, day 70 surely made up for that. My pumpkins were finally ready, which meant I could finish the community center pantry bundle, which also meant greenhouse. Before I donated the pumpkins, Marnie was finally selling the auto grabber, so I stopped by to grab one for my barn. And I wanted to make more use of my fish smokers, so I committed a heinous act. The sin of all sins, the ultimate betrayal. I bought a fish pond. I know. Shame upon me and my family, but I just had to. Finally, I made my way to the community center and finished up the pantry. In the night, my greenhouse was repaired and a mysterious raccoon jumped out of the scraps. And uh-oh, the Stardew Valley Fair was tomorrow. That is literally what I wrote in my notes for day 71. Uh-oh. But I was sure that I could throw something together for my Grange display, so I didn't worry about it. My combat skill was kind of low, especially since I needed to get to level 10 before the end of the year to reach my mastery cave goal, so I needed to go mining. But first, I finally grabbed the dehydrator recipe from Pierre because I completely forgot about it. Also, another round of oak resin was ready, which meant Keg Empire expansion. Then I spent the day slaying monsters in the Skull Caverns. I even got another auto grabber from a treasure floor. Woohoo! But none of that matters, because day 72 was the Stardew Valley Fair, my absolute favorite festival in Stardew Valley. It is genuinely so much fun because it actually gives you stuff to do, unlike many of the other festivals, where all of the activities they have to offer can be done in like 5 minutes. Before I headed over, I crafted more kegs and a couple of dehydrators for later use, and collected an amalgamation of items for my Grange display. It was horrible, but I still waited for Schmayer Schmoois to judge it. Miraculously, I still won, so I set off to gamble on the color wheel. Always bet on green. The odds you'll land on green are for some reason higher than orange, so you can make bank very quickly. I did also play around with the other games for funsies, then cashed in my tokens for a star drop, a prize ticket, and the rare crow. The fortune teller also told me that baby girl was in love with me. I knew it. After that eventful day, I headed off to bed. I got a party hat on day 73. That's it. Then on day 74, I finally upgraded my axe. I don't know what it is, but I am always slacking in the tool upgrade department. I feel like I might just prioritize bigger purchases whenever I get money, so my tools unfortunately get the short end of the stick. Then I took on the Wizard's Prismatic Jelly quest, which unfortunately did not get completed in this day. I searched high and low, but all I found was this mystery box book, which increases my chance to find mystery boxes. In the night, there was a strong windstorm, which meant the next day, the suspicious tree I had been ignoring had fallen over. I needed to feed it 100 pieces of hardwood, So sadly, I had to wait for my axe to be upgraded. I am just the patron saint of bad timing. I continued the prismatic jelly hunt for, not even joking, the entirety of day 75. And at 11:10 p.m., I found that damn slime on just the 5th floor of the mines. I might have slightly lost my mind. On day 76, my axe was ready, so I used it to get the alleyway buffet book from this golden trash can near Clint's, since there was a stump in the way. It gives a better chance to find useful stuff in the trash. I also decided to buy an apple sapling, despite my fruit cave being a factor. I wasn't confident that I'd get all 3 apples from Marnie's bundle. Better safe than sorry, so I planted it in the greenhouse. I also used my prize ticket from finishing the Wizard's Quest and got a Stardew tea. Remember this, it'll be important. All I did the next day was finally fill my greenhouse. I bought a bunch of starfruit from Sandy, did the gritty while tilling the ground, and also planted my 2 ancient seeds since, what a surprise, I forgot about them. And I had finally gotten 100 pieces of hardwood on day 78, so I turned that into the stump, which created this little house. I wonder who might take advantage of this vacancy. Oh, I also got this cute little raincoat from a tree. 1.6 introduced this clothing from various forms of nature thing, and I really like it. You're not expecting an entire raincoat to come bursting out of a tree. It's fun. Remember when I told you to remember the Stardew tea I got from the prize machine? Yeah, I gave it to Haley, and it immediately raised her friendship by 2 hearts. She made it to level 8, just like that. Stardew tea is OP. So, of course, day 79 was dedicated to her. I stopped by Pierre's to pick up a nice lovely bouquet for her. We rode some cows, played in the mud, and I professed my love to her. Obviously, she said yes, making fall 23 our dating anniversary. Mwah! So I was feeling good on day 80. On top of that, it was a good luck day, so I hiked myself over to the Skull Caverns, where I had such a good run. You have no idea how many damn treasure floors I got. I even got a rain totem, which was huge, since it seemed like I probably wouldn't be able to reach 10 hearts with Haley in the fall. So I'd need a rain totem to get a mermaid's pendant to marry her. But I might have not paid attention to my health, and accidentally blew myself up. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. The Stardew Valley universe does not want me to have a good time ever because, of course, I lost the rain totem because I died. But it's fine, I can just make one, I guess. I bottled up my feminine rage and moved on to day 81, where I had too much money and the urge to spend it. But first, my rancher responsibilities were calling me. I put this dino egg I gotten yesterday in my coop incubator and made an oil maker, since my pigs had started to produce truffles, and I was gonna need truffle oil to mend the great totem loss of 2024. Now to Robin's we go. I upgraded my coop, bought the big chest recipe, and finally the calendar to hang above my bed. I also headed to Clint's to put him to work, where I got a dwarf gadget. I contemplated whether I should donate it to the museum or make it into the farm computer, which I ultimately decided that the farm computer was the better choice. I wanted it now. On the morning of fall 26, I faced an issue I did not have a solution to. Is eggplant a fruit? Could I make dried eggplant? And the answer was no. So I skedaddled onto the next stupid idea. I stopped by the woods and met this little raccoon man. He asked for 5 crayfish and a smoked largemouth bass, which meant I had to make crab pots. So I ignored him for now to give baby girl a gift and committed my second cardinal sin of this playthrough, making crab pots. I hate defying the natural laws of the land, but it is necessary, I guess. Day 83 was the spooky festival, but first, I took my sweet gemberry to the secret woods and got my star drop from the strange little statue, then spent my day hacking at trees, before heading over to the Spirits Eve festival. Like I said, many of the Stardew festivals are uneventful. I ran through the maze to get the golden pumpkin, bought a funky rug and the rare crow, and as soon as I got home, I sold the golden pumpkin. To trigger you all. And finally, day 84 was the final day of fall. It, of course, was my last cranberry harvest, so I was going into winter with shmoney. I also got all the items needed for the raccoon, so I headed over to hand it in. He said, "Thanks, Bobo," and gave me powder melon seeds to kickstart winter. He also said he was looking for a wife. Aren't we all, Bobo? Speaking of wives, I hit 10 hearts with Haley on the last day of fall. So depressing. So my rain totem plan would have to work out. If you, for some reason, had seen my original 100 days, you'd know that I had the same exact get married in winter plan with Sam, and it did not work out, so I was rightfully nervous. I also was kinda hyped for the upcoming season, so I called it an early night and headed off to bed, excited for what winter had to offer. So normally I'd start off by saying something like, day 85 was the first day of winter, but I genuinely have no idea where the first 3 days of winter went. The only recordings I have are day 4 and on. What a fantastic start to winter. It is so fitting for the Lumi brand. Thankfully, nothing too crazy happened the first 3 days. The only thing is I caught the glacier fish on the second day of winter, so you're just gonna have to believe me, I swear to God I did. So day 84 was the 4th day of winter, and it started off kinda perfect. Juice loves me. I finally got full hearts with my little baby, so you already know what I was about to do. But first, since I had a ton of gold, I upgraded my barn and bought heaters for my animals. I guess I left them freezing for the first 3 days. Then I picked up the wizard's ectoplasm quest, then decided to leave it for tomorrow, before fishing the entire rest of the day. On day 89, Marnie sent me a letter about pet adoptions in the mail. So naturally, I spent all of my gold on a turtle, which I named Bork. Look at the little guy. Then I crafted a couple of monster musk and headed to the mines for ectoplasm, which I actually managed to get the same day. I guess that monster musk really did its magic. The next day my pine tar was ready, and conveniently, it was set to snow on day 91. So I crafted a rain totem and used it, praying it all goes well. I guess I was just really excited for the potential rain tomorrow, because all I did was buy a shed. I crossed my fingers, my legs, my arms, and my toes that the totem would work. It was the only way. I closed my eyes and reopened them on day 91 to rain. So immediately I darted to the beach for the mermaid's pendant. Okay, maybe not immediately. The raccoon found a wife, asked for some more items, blah, 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 blah. Let's get back to the important things. It's not like this is a video on the 1.6 update, which includes the raccoon storyline or anything. I headed to Haley's house, only the most romantic setting to propose to anyone, and asked her to be my wife. Of course she said yes. Also, a side note, look how damn cute her winter outfit is. All of the villagers have great winter outfits, but Haley's is unmatched. I was feeling lucky after that successful proposal, so I went to crack open some mystery boxes. I got a couple of cool things, like this wallpaper. Teehee. After the minute decoration, I went back to the raccoons. Unlocking the wife also unlocks her store, which I think is obviously the best part of these guys. The new 1.6Cs are normally kind of hard to spot around the valley, but this lady raccoon offers a way to get a ton with minimal effort. Literally just cut trees for the trading mats. It's a win-win. On day 92, some of my powder melons were ready, so I popped them in the dehydrator for the raccoon. It was also the festival of the ice, so I was ready to be a nuisance. I fished in Willie's ice hole to piss him off. That sounds so horribly wrong. And of course, I won. Moving on. On day 93, all I wanted was a burglar ring. That is all. And when I went to check how many dust sprites I needed, I noticed a box in Marlin's room. It's winter 9th. How the hell haven't I seen that yet? It gave me the Mapping Cave Systems book, which gives a 50% discount on Marlin's item retrieval service. Although, I don't really like using that. If I die in the mines, I must punish myself for being a terrible, self-proclaimed Stardew pro. I then popped a monster musk and went to town on some dust sprites for the day. I also finally got the last dwarf scroll I needed, so I could waste money on bombs for the Skull Caverns. Winter 10 was my wedding day, and while I was entering holy matrimony, I looked like a clown. I got married in a party hat and a raincoat, but my newly wedded wife let me smooch her anyway, and I went on with my day. I finished up my dust sprite slaying pretty quickly, getting me a burglar ring, and also handed in the raccoon items, getting his raccoon journal in return. When heading off to bed, I saw the purest sight before me. Look at Haley and Juice. I could actually cry. Oh, and all this time, I've been building up my keg empire, and I've barely mentioned it. I literally filled an entire shed so far. Even had to put some kegs outside because I had no more room. Just wanted to share my progress. Moving on, day 95. The bookschmeller was here today. I finally was no longer a sad, broke farmer, so I may or may not have put aside my detestment and checked out what this dude was selling. I bought Way of the Wind, which permanently increases your movement speed. I'm sorry, I know, I caved, but the movement speed boost is kinda nice. Sue me. Squidfest started on day 96. This is another new mini festival, much like the Trout Derby, but instead of collecting little tags, you just needed to catch a certain amount of squids to get all of the rewards. Only during the Squidfest can you catch squid for the entire day, so you can make both money and get the rewards. I magical girl transformed into Angler Lumi and went to fishing, earning myself some pretty cool rewards. The next day was also Squidfest, but before heading over, I changed Pam's bus sign because hee funny. It unfortunately was a bad luck day and I needed to catch 10 squids, but I boosted my chances with a couple of spicy eels and did manage to catch all 10, getting more cool rewards. Look at my squid hat. And finally, I had a good luck day. To put it into perspective, my first good luck day in forever wasn't even iridium. That is how unlucky I am. That is how much this game hates my guts. Before I headed to the caverns, my ancient fruit had grown, so I popped them in my seed maker to further grow my empire, and stopped by the dwarf to stock up on some bombs. At some point during winter, I'd gotten the Mr. Chi level 100 secret note, so this slithery man was waiting for me at the end of the day. I drank his milk, his iridium milk, I promise, and called it a night, since tomorrow was a very important day. It was the very first night of the night market. Only the realists of real know why the night market is vital to the Lumi character. From spring to summer to fall, I'd been gallivanting around in various different hats, searching for the perfect fit, and at the market, there it was, the cone hat. But not just any old cone hat. I deleted the actual texture and replaced it with the Lumi hat texture. I am in my final form! Oh, and I also got the pearl from the mermaid and deep sea fished. But that's not important. Day 100 was also spent doing night market shenanigans. But I also had a ton of gold. It was a Tuesday, meaning Robin's was closed. So what is the next logical money spending decision I decided to make? I bought another cat, which I named Meow, and another cat named Clorox Wipe, and another cat named Lunch Meat, and another— just kidding. I only got 3 cats, making my total 4 cats and 1 turtle. Have I reached cat lady status yet? I also had this prize ticket, which I redeemed for the Friendship 101 book. It makes it so you gain friendship a little bit faster, which is kind of nice for all of you catch-em-all gamers. I, however, am a hermit. All I need is my baby girl and my kitties. And that is when my night market shenanigans started, which means I literally just deep sea fished for the day. I opened my mail on day 102 to find my secret gift giver, which was literally my wife. Now Yobo wants to bless me. I was also, for some reason, in my congenial era, so the day was spent finishing up quests I'd been avoiding. But before I did all that, the raccoon had a little baby. He also requested items I already had, so they could get back to baby making very quickly. In return, he gave me this raccoon hat, which is kind of morbid. Which one of your family members is this? Then on to questing. Avoid essence to the wizard, pumpkin to Emily, iron bar for Clint, blah blah blah, you get the point. I also headed up to the bathhouse to do Linus's cleanup quest, but had no idea the little pond freezes in winter? Am I stupid? I feel like I've never experienced that. So instead, I just fished at my farm. When going to deposit all the trash, I ran into Linus, where he dragged me into his tent for suspicious activities. Y'all don't even want to know what I saw. And it didn't end there, because the next day, he was naked in the water. Come on, bro. But despite this weird man, at last, the apple tree I had planted in the greenhouse was fully grown. At this point, the apples were literally the only thing I needed to finish the community center. So I was looking good on most of my goals nearing the end of the year. Except one goal. Day 104 started my quest to find a creepy mannequin. I call it a quest, a journey if you will. Even a pilgrimage, because Yoba did not give me good graces. I spent days looking for a damn mannequin that does nothing but haunt you and hold your clothing. You see, the haunted skulls you find in the quarry drop the creepy mannequins. Once you make your way through the quarry mines and collect the golden scythe, there's a chance for a couple of the floors in the mines to spawn a dungeon floor, where you can find more haunted skulls. But in order to efficiently grind the skulls, you kinda need the dungeon floor to spawn on a level that can be easily reset. To abuse the elevator reset to its full potential, I only had 2 options. The dungeon floor had to spawn on level 31 or 71. And on day 105, I actually had one spawn on level 71. I spent the entire day resetting these floors, slaying every single haunted skull in sight. All I kept getting were rice shoots and miscellaneous clothing. Look how damn stupid I look. So I didn't get it that day. But it did push me over to level 10 combat, meaning I only needed level 10 foraging to open the mastery cave. So after completing the community center on day 106, bye! I started my second quest, Operation Foraging 10. I broke every single tree in the damn valley, which wasn't a lot because I'm a rat that deforests frequently. I even bought a foraging XP book from the bookseller. That's how desperate I was. But the mission was unsuccessful that day. And finally, the day of reckoning occurred. After collecting my mushrooms on day 108, I hit level 10 foraging. Woohoo! I even donated all the mats I needed to fix up the Ginger Island boat. Look at me saving mats and shit. And Jesus Christ, finally, I got me a spooky mannequin, which I put directly next to my bed. Teehee. It actually took me 5 whole days. I awoke from my slumber to a cryptic message. You sense that a new way is open. It was the Feast of the Winter Star today, so I quickly visited the Mastery Cave. Goal complete, right? No, I was so far away from any mastery, it was not even funny. I was very stupid to think that I could finish a mastery in just 1 year. But you know what? I tried, and finished at least half of the goal. After disappointment, I walked into more disappointment. Of course, I gave baby girl her secret gift, which she loved, and got a damn blackberry cobbler from Harvey. I hate him. But because Haley loved my gift so much, she gave me this star drop the next morning. What a perfect start to what was going to be a jam-packed day, because Ginger Island was ready for me. I crafted the new tent kit, which was a super smart addition that will be useful for the early days on Ginger Island. But I didn't even need to craft one because there was a box with tent kits waiting for me on the island. I made my way toward the volcano, scooping up any golden walnut along the way. I also checked the new Joja bird for giggles. 1 million gold for all of the walnuts? Yeah, okay, go scratch. Then I dashed through the volcano mines. I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've made it all the way through on the first try. I'm just like that. I also got a hot Java ring, my absolute favorite ring in the game. So I combined it with my lucky ring and enchanted my galaxy hammer. Artful. First try. All the luck I lost along this year was forcefully awakened on day 110, but I was tired. I worked up too much of a sweat today, so I unlocked the farm side of the island and went to sleep in my little tent. And I'm sorry, but day 111 sucked. So day 112 was the final day of winter, the final day of year 1, and I decided to spend it in the valley with all of my little villagers, giving back to those that don't really give to me, I guess. I'd been letting my cats go without water, so firstly I built them some pet bowls, making sure they'd at least be perfectly hydrated in my absence, and descended into Mayor Lewis's basement, where I fought his underwear. What the hell is bro doing down here? A garbage can, a computer, possessed underwear. I'll refrain from commenting further. Finally, I grabbed a cold one at the saloon and sat down, reflecting on the past year. I managed to complete just about all of my goals, aside from unlocking a mastery. That was just never possible. The Meadowlands farm was also a decent change in pace, where I had to be a little rancher. Honestly, I'm not too big of a fan of animal-focused gameplay, which is probably why I wasn't very good at it. Animals for me are usually just passive income, so while I enjoyed a new farm and a new experience, it probably won't be my go-to. And I know I've mused about how much I hate the bookseller, but the book system is probably my favorite 1.6 edition. After getting lost in thought, I just went back home and headed off to bed with my children and wife for the very last time. Thank you all so much for watching, if you got this far. Let me know what you think. This is the first time I've made this long of a video, so just let me know. Obviously, you should subscribe. It'll make me so happy. And remember, Lumi's always got you. Bye!